you can't come? I'm blind. How am I going to get... You know what? Forget it. I'll figure it out. Fine. Stop! It's an emergency. I need your car.
What?
I need your car.
For what?
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God.
Jeez. Women drivers. Everything I have done
Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, the mother-daughter travel team and publishers of Big Blend magazines. That was Blind-Man-Drivin, the latest single from our friend Joey-Stuckey. Joey rocks. He's an award-winning blind guitarist, a songwriter, a singer, a composer, a producer, a radio and TV personality, a music columnist, educator, and sound engineer. He has a wonderful studio. It's called Shadow Sound Studios out of Macon, Georgia. And in Macon, Georgia, that is actually the Southern rock capital of the world, but he is the official music ambassador for Macon. And we're hoping we get to go and meet him in person, cool. Either in September or January. So welcome back, Joey. How are you doing?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be with you, my dear friends. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm doing well. It's good. I gotta say, I'm still a little bit in COVID mode. I'm actually wearing a dress shirt for you today, but I have my Pac-Man pajama pants on. So
there you go. I'm wearing our Love Your Park store t-shirt. You can't see it. I don't know if people can see. I better not.
I wouldn't do that again if I were you.
I better not do that again.
Don't do that again.
Gotta be careful about show and tells. You never know what might show.
Way,
but,
yeah, I tend not to show anything without money changing hands. So that's you got to be careful.
Oh my gosh. Listen, blind.
Well, as a blind person, I have no sense of shame, Lisa. That's what you got to understand. I don't have to look at it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me set the scene. She has a eagle, which I drew on her t-shirt, and as she lifted up, the wings spread. That's all I'm saying.
Should I do it again? Should I do it again?
I think you should. In honor of me not being able to see it, you should do it again.
Now for my next trick. We were just talking before we started recording about going to airports.
Can you juggle?
Airports and places like that where, we love to people watch and, tell stories and create stories. It's just a creative exercise of, I wonder, they're having an affair. They're having an affair. She's probably got another one on the side. You never know. We start doing that, but you're saying you listen to the conversations of people.
I can't help it really, because I'm just a big set of walking ears, and so my hearing is very acute. My brain processing power for what I hear is substantial. I can't see or smell. So two of my senses are down. So the ears certainly pick up the slack, and I just hear, but I've written songs based on just fragments of overheard conversations. And I have to say, I have to really watch myself and be careful not to react, because you don't want to embarrass anybody. Yeah. And, I can't see how close or far away they are, or if they're looking at me or not. So you got to be careful.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
So can you do
that?
So
I've learned how to be very stoic.
Can you copy accents? Do you listen
sometimes? To that? It's funny, as a child, I was really into impressions and accents and all kind of stuff like that. And I've filled my brain with mostly music. So I don't do it as much as I used to, but when I was obsessed with the UK. I still am, frankly. A lot of what I think is funny comes from British comedies.
Oh yes.
And it was a big part of my childhood, and I really wanted to be from England. I really did. I still do, kind of. And I was there in 2015 on tour and speaking at University College of London and doing all this stuff. And I felt so at home with the culture. And sometimes I tell really stupid jokes here, and I have to sometimes repeat them because people don't get it the first time. And in London, everybody's like, all my jokes just bam, they got it. So I was like, oh, I'm home. This is great. Yeah. But I have to say, I used to do. I one time when I was about, I can't remember how old I was. I was probably 10 or 11. I one time had to sit in the office of the school I attended for about half an hour for my mom to pick me up. I wasn't in trouble or anything. I was just waiting. And somebody came in. I was bored out of my mind. And because, you can't, if you're blind, just pick up a magazine and read. So I'm just sitting there waiting. And my mom was late for some reason. I don't know if there was some kind of emergency or I can't remember what happened anymore. But I convinced someone that came in that I was from London because I had my British accent, and I just did it the whole time. And I knew so much about the culture that I could totally talk about it in a reason. And I just did it as entertainment. And they never, to the best of my knowledge, I never knew that I was conning them.
I love that. Does it remind you of Las Vegas? We were having breakfast, and there was a British couple, and they were talking. And so we started speaking British in the accent. And then they came over and said, hello, how are you? Where are you from?
No, we got caught. What we did, we
got caught.
We got caught. We were sitting there. It was actually Laughlin. It was Laughlin.
Is it Laughlin?
Back in our days of printing magazines, we used to print out there and in Vegas, which made life a lot of fun. It's a good thing to do in between press checks is be, in a casino bar. Very, very sad time. But we were actually wearing breakfast and I went, oh, look, they've got English muffins. And Nancy says, oh, goody. And the lady turned around, she goes, oh, yes, they really do. And it really was. I'm like, uh-oh, we're so in trouble. But we're with you on the British comedy. Nancy and I are like that, too. I mean, we watch old school shows like Not the 9 O'Clock News and
Faulty Towers.
Anything John Cleese, just.
Yeah. Faulty Towers is absolutely genius.
Isn't it crazy?
I mean, it never gets old.
No,
my favorite. I mean, honestly, like one of the worst jokes on Faulty Towers, it is still so good that it's better than most people's great jokes. But there's this wonderful thing where Basil Fawlty says to Manuel, "There's too much butter on those trays." And he goes, "No, señor, uno, dos, tres," and I think it's the dumbest joke ever, but it's just it's so good.
Basil.
I love the Garden Gnome episode.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Fantastic.
No, when he starts doing naughty, he's smacking his legs. But the Faulty Towers, and then there's Black Books we got all into these.
Oh, Black Books is fantastic.
Oh God, it's one of the best. It is. There's the one Friday night dinner. Or Friday night supper.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan.
We interviewed recently. Actually, you guys are probably going to be in the same magazine together. One of the sons on the show, like a couple months ago.
Really?
They've got a brand new.
Cool.
It was so cool because I'm like, I know this name. Don't ask me his name. Sorry, and I'm like, no kidding. We watched that, and so and he's got a BAFTA award-winning actor on with him, and it's Bagnall Days of Summer Days is the movie. I've got it's not all in front of me because apparently I need help. But
I will try and find it.
I'll send you a link to it because it's funny. But anyway, it comes on with the lady before we start recording. Now it's all out there. So because you know how the father always goes shit on it, shit on it.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there and I'm like. And we start trying to do this, and she's sitting on the phone. All of a sudden, all she's hearing from us is shit on it. And now I have to mark this podcast?
It's great to know how cultured you are, Lisa. That's what's important.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah,
Sorry
first you show your boobies, and then you say shit on it.
I showed my wings.
You are a true woman after my own heart.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to mark
What happened to this show?
I don't know, but I'm gonna have to put one of those marks on this.
Nancy, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm very proud of how disruptive an influence I can be, and I have disrupted many a thing, interviews, classes. One of my favorite stories about being disruptive. I used to think it was the height of comedy for me to give out flashlights. And I thought it was really funny for a blind guy to give out flashlights. And I still think it's funny. So I would give out these flashlights and people never forget because this is blind guy giving you a flashlight. It's stupid. But anyway, so one of my bandmates took his pen light home. I gave him a pen light. He took it home. His son promptly stole it. And about 2 a.m, he walked by his son's room on the way back from the bathroom. And there was this weird glow coming from under his son's door. And he walked in and the kid was under the covers reading a book past his bedtime using my flashlight. And I was like, yes,
that's right. That's what they're for.
That's awesome.
That's
awesome. Disruptive. I'm disruptive without even being there. How good is that?
See?
I want one.
That's kind of a plan.
If I can find one, if I've still got one, I will send you one. I'll put it on my list.
Just hold on to it because we're going to come see you.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, we want to come see you in the studio, but then you're like performing, and now we want to do both. We got to go in the studio, and you do. Yeah, we do. We need to go in the studio because
we're gonna film you like you're making a record. We're gonna take pictures and tell everyone you're coming out with an album.
Can we record something?
Shoot, yeah, dude.
She's got a great voice. She really has a great voice.
I'm a singer, and I do write music.
I will put you to work. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Seriously, let's do it. Let's do it. It'd be sweet.
We'll do it.
Let's do it. It'll be fun.
Cool.
We can do a little mini documentary, like your mini one. You've got a documentary coming out, and it's called Blink. And so you are posting that on Facebook.
It's called Don't Blink.
Don't Blink.
Don't Blink.
Okay. But I got stuck with your character, your mascot, Blink.
Yeah. Well, so here's the story about that. There's two reasons it's called Don't Blink, and the first one is that when we were really touring behind our 2019 album, I wanted to sell T-shirts because honestly, and I won't go into all the crazy music business minutia, but honestly, T-shirts sell better than CDs sometimes, and everybody likes them. And what you want to do is you want to present a T-shirt that's inexpensive so that you can sell it for a price that's reasonable. And people, I'm not Paul McCartney. I can't charge $50 for a T-shirt. So you want to sell it for a price that's reasonable, but also a price that, that doesn't break the bank for me. Right. So I need to make something. I'm not trying to make a killing off the T-shirt because I feel like the T-shirt is kind of free advertising for me. So I'm not trying to make a ton of money, but I need to make a little bit more than what I paid for it. So my idea was, what is something that's simple so I can do the T-shirts in black and white, or, black on another color like yellow or red, whatever, but just like a two color concept. And what's something that's interesting that people go, why, what is this shirt? It's like a conversation breaker, it's like an icebreaker. And so I came up with the idea that what would be funny is for a little stick, for me to have a stick figure, which is not easy, it's not hard to create. And to make that stick figure have sunglasses and a cane to denote the fact that he can't see. And then to have him carrying with him like a giant guitar that's bigger than he is. And I had a friend of mine draw that. And so that character is called Blink. So that's sort of my mascot or my avatar or whatever you want to call it. And it's insanely popular. And then people are like, why are you wearing a shirt with a blind stick figure on it? It's like, and then there's a whole, this is blind musician. So it's this whole thing. And we found that even the bar staff or wait staff or the personnel at the clubs and stuff we were playing in or the venues, they were buying these things. They loved it. And people really enjoyed it and thought it was fun. And I want people to know that blind is not a dirty word. It's okay to laugh at it. Either laugh or cry. I'll take laughter. And so that's part of it. And the other part of it is this idea of never taking your eye off the goal. So when you say don't blink, it's like don't give up. Don't take your eye off the goal. Don't flinch in the face of adversity. Just stay strong and keep on doing what you believe is right. So that's kind of why there's multiple layers of that name. And honestly, I didn't choose the name. The young lady, her name's Courtney Atkinson. This documentary is actually her master's thesis for her degree, which I'm proud to say she got a 4.0 on. Cool. She just finished graduating with a master's degree from SCAD, which is the Savannah College of Art and Design. And they have a wonderful film program. And so that was her master's thesis. So that's one of the reasons that, she chose that name on her own volition. But those were the sort of concepts that made it up. And I also have to say, the documentary is about 15 minutes long. So there's lots of stories we didn't tell. But overall, it's about, finding a way to live the life that you want, the life that you value, the life that has intention for you through different, adverse circumstances. Mine happened to be physical in nature. I've got a metal hip. I got a metal shoulder. I had a brain tumor. I'm a brain tumor survivor. I can't see. I can't smell. I have chronic fatigue because I have no endocrine system. So I don't make adrenaline. I don't have a thyroid, all these different things. And it's a very complicated balancing act for me to be functional and healthy. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And so we talk a little bit about that. And, as I say, there's a ton of stuff we didn't cover. But I have to say, it's really her film. She interviewed me, she interviewed my wife, she interviewed some of my bandmates. And so it's really her film it was her passion project, and we're just excited to share it.
Awesome. And out everyone, June 28th, and you can keep up with Joey. What, the Joey-Stuckey Band? That's the website, right? That everyone goes.
Joeystuckey.com.
Joeystuckey.com.
Joeystuckey. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Keep it
Joey
simple.
Stuckey. Yeah, there it is. Joeystuckey.com. And wasn't there a candy bar called Stuckey?
Yes,
what?
that's my cousin's.
No,
they have a store, and it's Stuckey's, and they had Stuckey's pecan logs, and they
I want one.
had a real. Listen, I've got some for you. When we see you, I've got some. We keep them in stock to give away.
Wow.
Yeah.
No way. I just
And-
remember Stuckey's,
yeah, 'cause
and I was like, yeah.
Well, we're real close. My cousin Stephanie and I are real close, and her grandfather was the one that started it. His name was Sylvester, and then her father took over. His name was Billy, but he was also a congressman and moved to Washington and was there for I don't know how long, probably 30 years. And so Stuckey's went through a lot of different changes. I know at one time they were bought out by Starvin Marvin and then all this different stuff. But she's really over the last, I think 2 or 3 years. I may not be exactly right on the timeline, but she's gotten involved and taken over as the CEO and everything, and really is working hard to bring them back to their former glory. And I will tell you, I love Stephen King for 2 reasons. He's got several stories where the blind person's the hero. Thank you, Stephen King. But he also mentions Stuckey's in one of his books as a place where the characters eat.
That is awesome.
So I think that's pretty cool.
So where's she based out of? Where's Stuckey's based?
She's based out of Georgia. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to come see her too. I mean, when we're going to Georgia.
You should. And listen, she has a I think, now my dad's the one that knows all the details better than I do, but I believe they have the factory in Eastman, Georgia, is where they have the candy plant.
Oh, we need to go.
But I might be wrong about that. But Stephanie, I think, and I may be wrong about this, Stephanie, for as long as I've known her, has lived in Atlanta and in fact was a state legislator for DeKalb County for a number of years.
Wow.
So I don't know. I think she still lives in Atlanta. Yeah,
Okay.
I think she still lives in Atlanta, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, because we're going to be in Peachtree City.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Movie land. Yeah, that's where all the Walking Dead is filmed.
Absolutely.
And all that good stuff. But yeah, this whole thing with Georgia, I can't wait because number one, Georgia's beautiful. And, just going out to your studio, I know we talked about this on the last time we chatted on the radio, but the amount of musicians that come out of Georgia is pretty darn exciting, and so I want to definitely do something we should just have like a Georgia music show or something. We should totally do like a music fest or something on this. We need to do something on Georgia music.
Well,
we could do it all on Nathan.
I mean,
you're the ambassador. We could do it all on
Nathan. Right. Listen, I mean, there's so many amazing people that have come from Macon. Little Richard is from Macon. Otis Redding, the great Otis Redding's from Macon.
Yeah.
The Allman Brothers spent a lot of time here. They're not from here, but they spent a lot of time here. They spent about a decade here. So, I mean, there's Johnny Jenkins. There's all kinds of amazing people that came from Macon. And of course, people like James Brown from Augusta, Georgia. You got Trisha Yearwood. You've got I consider him a Georgia boy. You got John Mayer, who spent a lot of time in Atlanta. I'm not sure if he's from there, but I know he really was there a lot for his early career. Mm-hmm. So I consider him Georgia, but we're going to claim him.
Well, you know what? Zakiya Hooker, John Lee Hooker's daughter, is up in Dudleyville. We went to see her when we were out in Peachtree City last time. She's been on our show for years, and her brother's been on our show. And her husband, he is amazing. He was a part of the Natural Four, old school, soul group. And so we went to see them, and we should put them on with you guys. That'd be cool. In fact, I was telling her about you because she was doing some new projects and was talking about getting a guitarist. So I was telling her about you. And I'm
ready to rock. If she needs help, I'm ready.
We need to hook you all up because she is so sweet. She makes jewelry and she makes cakes.
Yes.
And she, they're just awesome. But
oh my gosh.
So let's when we
I don't wear much jewelry, but I'll eat a cake.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I can't wait to get back to Georgia.
And her cake will make you feel good.
I know. Her cake is happy cake.
Happy cake.
We're not supposed to tell
I would
people that.
I have to tell you, I have never had a huge sweet tooth, but now that I've put myself on a diet and I've lost 90 pounds.
Right on.
In just over a year, just a little bit over a year.
Wow.
And I think 13 months. And so, but I broke, my birthday was in May. And I broke my fast, as it were, with a red velvet cupcake, and I was so hungry for cake, I just wanted to put my face in the icing and just die.
You know what? There's nothing like really good cake. There's
not. Cake is that is my, if I have a weakness for sweets, that's where it is.
When we lived up in the mountains in San Diego and Julian, I went vegan for a while, and it's because when I got back to this country, I was, I all these allergies. I've always been a pain in the butt with allergies and things, and I just needed to clean my body, and I got really fit, and then I started eating packaged vegan food and realized that made me really sick, and like my hair was falling out. And
that's
was
terrible
bad.
stuff.
So I've learned I didn't know all the poisons that are in everything, and so that was my big lesson. But so when I went vegan, it was so funny because we did a gig and it was like a jam session night or whatever, and at the Pine Hills Lodge, and my friend Carl was also vegan, and somebody had a wedding there or something, and there was this beautiful carrot cake, and we just looked at each other, and we'd like talk about dive into a cake because we hadn't eaten anything that had eggs or anything for like a year, and we're like, get away, get out of my way, everybody. We pigged out on that cake. We seriously pigged out on that cake. I'll never forget that.
Well,
cake.
I think that's totally reasonable.
Carrot cake. I mean, carrot cake.
Carrot cake's delicious. That's one of my favorite cakes.
Oh my
Very
God.
healthy.
Yeah.
This is good. Okay,
Well,
so we've talked about
I've eaten a lot of carrots
Stuckey's,
my whole life.
red velvet.
Yeah,
fruit
I've
cake.
eaten a lot
This
of.
is good.
I've eaten a lot of carrot cake. I've eaten a lot of carrots my whole life, but they have not done anything for my vision. So I think that's a myth.
Well, that could be.
You need one of those little lights, those little pen lights. That's what you need.
That's right.
That'll help. But that's interesting. So not having the sense of smell, sometimes that could be really nice to have, depending on where you drive through. But not having the sense of smell, does that change your taste?
It does. Scientifically, it says that no sense of smell will reduce your sense of taste by around 30%. And so, that's why I tend to be someone that likes very sharp foods. I don't think that I pick up on the subtleties. So I don't like spicy food because with spicy food, all I get is the heat. And so I don't really like that, but I like a lot of citrus. I like a lot of sharp cheeses. So that's kind of where I think that comes from. I don't, but I'm a bit of a purist in the sense that I don't use a lot of sauces or extra seasoning. I assume that the food is cooked correctly to begin with, and I'm not going to need to, alter it that much. Every once in a while, I'll have a little steak sauce or something like that. But for the most part, I eat it the way it is. And I just, with this whole, I say I'm on a diet, but really it's just a new way of eating. It's portion control primarily. And, we've gotten used to, my parents came from small towns in Tennessee and Georgia, and their parents, lived through the Great Depression. And we were always raised, clean your plate, clean your plate, clean your plate. And, and the portions that you're given today are, double what they used to be. And so you're just sitting there cleaning your plate, cleaning your plate, cleaning your plate, not want to waste food and that kind of thing. And you realize you're eating more than you actually have to feel okay and to feel well. And I've tried a bunch of different diets over the years, but to be candid, I already feel bad enough as it is on a regular basis. And I've just adapted my spirit to dealing with that and not letting it get me down. And when a diet made me feel like I had the flu and just really drug me down, I was like, man, I cannot do this. Yeah. This way of eating is mainly portion control. And it doesn't make me feel bad. I eat several small meals, several times a day. And I have restricted, on this diet, you can eat anything you want in moderation. But I have restricted myself a little bit more than I have to, or than they recommend, just because I want to lose 160 pounds. I've lost 90. And so I've replaced, one of my weaknesses is pasta. I love pasta. I love rice. I've replaced all that with cauliflower noodles and cauliflower rice. And it's not quite the same thing, but it's close enough. So I also eat a lot of beans for protein. So stuff like that. But anyway, not having a sense of smell, I like, like my mom says, well, I don't like the way the cauliflower rice smells. Well, that's not a problem for me.
There it is.
It doesn't affect me at all.
I know you can,
Right?
it's like, because when you travel, you go through some interesting things, and you go to play, especially when you perform. If people are smoking, or there's always depends on the bathroom. You're like, oh no, because I mean, we could write a book on bathrooms across America.
Oh my God, that's my next tour. That's my next tour. I'm going to pop up in random places and perform in bathrooms across America.
That's it. Why not?
Patent pending.
Yeah, right. And take your pen rights.
Listen, there'll be a blind man in a bathroom near you with a pen light and guitar.
Chuck Berry would have liked that.
60 Minutes, I don't know what will. So
Chuck Berry would totally dig that. He'd be through his little peephole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh man. Here we go. We were all serious for like a minute. Look,
I'm sorry.
On.
Yeah,
we were doing
I told you I'm a disruptive influence.
Remember,
it's not your fault; it's my fault.
That's it. So. Hey, but listen now. We're talking about Don't Blink and Blink, your little character. That's what we were talking about was mascots, because we're recording this on National Mascot Day, and our mascot is Priscilla. She is a pink and white sock monkey, and so we will bring her and we'll introduce her to Blink and see. Maybe they can play together or something. But
I think you should.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should.
She's famous. She's stylish. People always want to take photos, and that's her. She is our Instagram queen. She's our influencer, Nancy.
That is so cool.
Yes, that's it. She is awesome. But Blind-Man-Drivin, see, that goes right to your humor too. I love that video.
Funny.
We were just cracking up on it, and I think the videos are great. All your videos are great, but I really like that you go into an actual performance in the video. Everybody just, I know if you're watching this, instead of listening, you saw the video. If you're listening on audio, you need to go to Joey's YouTube page and check out the video, because it's awesome. But to be able to see the performance, and that's something we love, because we really miss live music too. But you have an incredible band. I mean, is that the normal setup for you when you tour? That many people in the band and the horn section, and oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, when the universe obeys my will, it is my setup. But it's hard to find venues that can pay you enough to bring all those guys on the road. And it's tough, because in that video we had 3 horns, we had drums, we had bass, we had keys, we had me on guitar and vocal. And we had another guitar player on there. So that band doesn't get to play as much as we'd like. What I've found, and especially now with live music just kind of getting cranked back up after being shut down for a while with COVID, the easiest thing for me to do, not only organizational wise, but financially, is to travel with a trio. So typically, I travel with bass, drums, and then myself on guitar and vocal, and then that's for my what's called my progressive Americana trio. Americana, as you probably know, is a fairly broad umbrella. It includes blues and a little rock and country and all kinds of stuff, folk music. So we call ourselves progressive Americana, which is something we totally made up.
Cool.
But we call it progressive because I bring in elements of funk and jazz too.
Awesome.
So we call it progressive. But then I also have a jazz trio that I tour with because I have a whole jazz set that I do. So mostly I tour with the trio, and sometimes I tour with just me on the guitar, just acoustic guitar and vocal. And then when I get the chance, I have a 5 to 8 piece band that I like to pull together for big shows. And certainly there's something called Joey-Stuckey Alive Day that takes place on the 29th of every year. We started it in 2017. It's a free, family-friendly music festival here in downtown Macon. And, we have about 6 hours of music from all different styles.
What day? What month? What month?
It's in September. It's in September. This year we're not doing it live, just because I needed to make it work. I have to start working on it in November of the previous year to organize everything. And, it cost me about $10,000 to put it on. And it's just a very involved undertaking, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right, or I'm not going to do it. So we have a huge stage, lights and sound, and all these incredible artists that we try to pay a little something to, and then of course you have to advertise and promote and all this stuff. So, and it's a free concert. We don't ever ask anyone because we think of it as a day to reconnect with family and friends,
nice,
and have a really positive experience. We think of it as a day of affirmation, because Joey-Stuckey Alive Day, the September 29th, is the day that my brain tumor was taken out. And they said I wasn't going to make it. Or if I did, that I wouldn't walk or talk. And so my parents, when I was a child, celebrated that day as a way to keep me from being afraid of the trauma of the brain tumor and the brain tumor surgery and the aftermath, and focus on the positive. So instead of, this is the day you almost died, this is the day that could have been so bad, this is the day you had your head cut open. And I've got a scar. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing, but I've got a scar from right over my right ear that comes down to the middle of my forehead. They took that whole section of skull off to get the tumor out. Yeah, it was.
That's
and this
crazy.
Is back in the, this is back in the dark ages of medicine. This is back in the 70s. So it was, it was a very extensive surgery. And so we think about the positive side. This is the day you beat the odds. So my parents, just instinctually focused my mind on affirmation instead of fear.
That's
so
awesome.
We've celebrated that. Well, yeah, they're incredible people. They really are. And we celebrated that day as sort of a second, birthday, and always had a very quiet celebration, with family and friends. But then in 2017, I said, I feel like people have gotten more separated, and aren't connecting with people in the same way they used to. And what I want to do is I want to have a day that's all about affirmation, all about positivity, make it free of charge, bring them some incredible music. But not only is the music incredible, but the artists that perform the music that I select, which I select very carefully, these artists are people that get it. They understand what the day is about. They understand, they have the right spirit. So not only are they talented, but they have a spirit of community. And so that's what it's all about. So this year we're not doing it because, as I said, it takes me time, but we've done it for the past 3 years. And it's been during COVID, we did it virtually. We did it all Facebook Live and stuff like that. And everybody performed from their homes or whatever. But this year, I wasn't really sure what was happening this year. And I didn't know if things were going to be open or closed. And by the time I kind of figured things out, it was kind of too late to get started. But anyway, it is an official holiday here in Macon, Georgia. It's an official day. And the mayor proclaimed it in 2017. And so we celebrate it every year. And we talk about, being happy and being alive and being grateful and being silly. I'm a very silly person, but a lot of people don't realize that silly is, I know it's hard to tell, isn't it? So I've shocked you now, I can tell. But yeah, silly is an interesting word because the original meaning of the word silly was blessed. And of course, now we use it for someone that's kind of funny and, has a little wacky sense of humor. But I think I'm both those things. I think I'm blessed, and I think I'm sort of odd.
That's, but I think I look at this as September 29th is like you get a second birthday. That's kind of like,
absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that means you get
and
to
feel
have
free to send presents if you want.
Carrot cake and more carrot.
Yes,
cake. That's it.
Yes,
more carrot cake. But
I'll eat if you make it. I'll eat it.
Well, we're going to keep promoting that because the 29th, that's such a cool thing, and I love that your parents put that in you like at a very young age, because I think it's going to be part of where your success comes from and your attitude. It's very positive and fun and move forward and do what you feel. You know what I mean? I know that you do feel.
Oh,
yeah.
Here we go.
I'm what you call a groper. I'm a groper.
Joey the groper.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and that ties back into the bathroom tour.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
I think the bathroom tour. We want to do that. That's our whole thing.
During bathrooms.
We drove.
Listen, here's the deal. I'm dumb enough to do this if you help me. In other words, if you guys protect me from getting lynched or beaten, I will stand in a bathroom and sing to people. I just do not care. I don't have to. I don't see the looks of horror on their faces. I don't smell the shame coming from the bathroom. I'm just there to sing. So if you protect me from the consequences, I'll do it.
We'll do it then. Okay,
Maybe
so
you
this
can
is on.
people to flush the toilets on the right beat.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yes. On
Would that be
beat 4,
fun?
every time I hit a 4th beat,
Flush
that's
the
on
toilet.
beat 4 is where you want to flush.
Oh, that's it. Oh no, but if everybody flushes at the very end, that's a standing ovation.
Yes.
Well, it's some kind of ovation. Yeah.
And listen, the men's bathroom has cake.
That's not Lisa. I've just solved all your problems. You're eating the wrong kind of cake, my friend. That is not the cake you want.
I don't know. No, it's not. But anyway, but I'm all down to do it once. I remember once in Vegas. I don't know. Vegas was bad, not bad, but we had a good time in Vegas. Let's put it that way. And it was
a disruptive influence.
Yeah, when we're there in the casinos, where the waitresses go around and you just hear cocktails. So we're in the bathroom. Nancy walks in the bathroom and goes, cocktails. People are like,
oh my God.
Yes, it worked.
Raise their hand out of the stalls to get a drink.
So as far as I'm concerned,
wow,
we've got to do the bathroom.
You know
tour.
what? I'm for a blind man. I'm doing something really unusual. I'm getting a vision here. I'm getting a vision, and I can see now that you're gonna dress up like Betty Boop, and on the bathroom tour, you're gonna go in with cocktails. You're gonna serve cocktails while we perform.
That's it.
That's
and
funny.
serve cake.
I love it.
And serve cake, the nice cake.
Right.
Yes, and cake.
Yes, that's
Betty
it.
Boop cake.
You know,
No, let's
I'm
just
not
sell
gonna
our
tell you how I
sock
know what she
monkey.
looks like.
She can do it. Sock monkey. Let her do it. She needs to work. She's been sitting.
You know what's going to happen, right? We're going to all end up in prison together. That's what's going to happen.
Oh my gosh. Then it is. Then we can play the Blues Brothers. That's it. I love it.
I've always wanted to do the Johnny Cash prison concert, so that's going to be my next thing. So
well, I'll bring my tin cup. That's
funny.
Honestly, a blind man really should have a tin cup. That's sort of the old stereotype, the guy in the street. So I do need my official Joey-Stuckey tin cup.
And that can help you get out of jail by just rubbing it up and down against the bars.
I was going to say,
absolutely.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it, man. This is some fun stuff. I also wanted to not forget, we're going to be interviewing Tamara in a couple days here. And Tamara is Tamara Wilson. She's getting ready to release her new EP, Let It Go. And that's out on June. Oh, it's out tomorrow, but it's already out when you hear this podcast. But she, listening to her music, she has that. And I know you produced her EP, right? Because she's positive too. Yeah. She's got some good vibes going with her.
She is an absolute treasure. She is such a sweet person. She's a delight to work with. She's very enthusiastic about the work. I like her a lot because we work really well together, because when I'm working as a producer, for somebody else and trying to help them bring their vision to life, I always give them my honest opinion. And it's an educated opinion, but that doesn't change the fact that it's an opinion. And what I love best when I'm working with a client is they respect my opinion and they want it. But I tell them up front, at the end of the day, this is your music. And if you disagree with me, that is totally fine. Doesn't hurt my feelings. You should always do what you think is right. In the fullness of time, you may realize that what you thought was right wasn't. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And you have to be true to yourself. And you will evolve over time and make fewer mistakes. And I don't think she's made any mistakes. I'm not saying she has. I'm just saying, and we have such a great relationship because she wants my opinion and respects it, but she also sticks to her guns and knows what she wants. And that is really great, because one of the hardest problems when a client doesn't know what they want, it's hard to help them. The thing about her is she knows what she wants, but she's open to other ideas. Nice. And that is the perfect client. So she tracks her vocals in a studio close to where she lives with a gentleman there, and I don't know who that is per se. But for two of the songs, let me make sure I got the one's called "A Little More Love," which is one of my favorites, and I played everything on that. I did drums, bass, guitar, keys, and was the recording engineer and the music producer and arranger. And then there was a friend of hers that played horns on it, which was really wonderful. And then she did all the vocals. And then she had another dear friend of mine actually mix that track. And he's been her mixing engineer for a long time, and he did a great job. And then she had another song, and let me see if I can remember the name of it. It's been a minute since I've done these, but she had another song. "It's Your Life" is the name of it, and "It's Your Life" that I was doing with her was a real joy because I got to bring in two of my closest friends and musical compatriots. Tom Rule on piano, who's a wonderful piano player, and Miguel Castro on drums. And they were fantastic. And Tom did a wonderful piano part, but did a wonderful string part. And once again, I played bass and guitar. And the whole record's great. I mean, the whole it's a wonderful EP. And EPs are in right now, and there's lots of people doing EPs, and that's a great way for an artist to get several songs out and let people hear them without spending a whole bunch of money doing 10, 12 songs. Right so on. It's well worth your time to check them out. And Little More Love is just such a fun, upbeat, happy dance, pop number. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. It's been so good to catch up with you. We've talked, and I want to, before I forget, mention this. We talked about, and everyone stay tuned for tomorrow's interview as well. Keep up with us on bigblendradio.com for that. But
she is a treasure.
Do you watch Canadian comedy? Or not watch, I should say.
Yes, sometimes. Listen. Like I used to watch Kids in the Hall, and
yeah.
And now what's the one that I love so much? It's called I can't. It's named after a town. Now I can't think of it.
Letterkenny. Letterkenny.
Yes.
That's the one
we're going to ask you.
Watched it. Yes.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
That is hilarious.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Yes. And if everybody, if you haven't watched it, go to YouTube and type in Letterkenny and the word moist.
Oh, okay.
You got to listen to the moist segment. Yeah. Okay. United States of Moistica.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Feel it, Joey. Feel it.
That is my favorite kind of carrot cake.
Really? Oh, moist carrot cake. That's it.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to let you ponder that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll bring carrot cake when we come to see you. We'll find carrot cake.
We're going to do it.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay.
I love it. So everybody, again, Joey-Stuckey.com. Go to his website. Go find him on YouTube as well. And the documentary is out on June 29th. And I got to give a shout out to our friends at the National Parks Arts Foundation. They are sponsoring today's show. We do our first Friday Toast of the Arts show with them every month. And we interview artists, musicians, poets, writers, painters, you name it, artists who are artists in residence in a national park. Some of these parks are like Hawaii volcanoes. There's Dry Tortugas, where you get to live off grid for an entire month on your own island. It's very cool. Chaco Canyon up in northern New Mexico, Fort Union. It's really, really a cool program. So check it out at nationalparksartsfoundation.org and keep up with us at bigblendradio.com. Thank you so much, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
My pleasure. It's always a joy to be in your company, my friends, and have a wonderful day and stay safe and sane until we meet in September or January.
Awesome. We can't wait to meet you in person. You take care and stay safe as well.
Thanks,
and
guys.
Keep laughing.
My universe is sound. And I fill that universe with music. I made it right sharp. That's good. All right. But I never thought about being in the music business as a young adult or a child because honestly, I was too focused on survival.